Hello everyone and welcome back to my learning studio. Today we will be learning about one of the building blocks of Python, which is Python operators. So as we always do, we will start with today's question: what are operators? So operators are special symbols. As you can see, all these are symbols, special symbols used to perform operations. Now what operations? If you right from childhood we have learned this symbol. If it is given, it means addition. If I say 2 plus 3, it will be addition, right? 3 plus 2 becomes 5. This we have learned from childhood. So we will be today looking at all these symbols. So what are operators? Operators are special symbols used to perform operations on variables and values. We have seen in the last videos what variables are, what values are, right? Variables are boxes in which the values are assigned, correct? Now, in Python, there are different types of operators. So they have been classified as arithmetic operators, assignment operators, comparison operators, logical operators, identity operators, membership operators, and bitwise operators. Okay. So we'll look into each of these in details along with examples and where they are. So to start with arithmetic operators. So arithmetic operators we have seen from childhood that they are the numbers they are the operators used in mathematics. They work as like for plus sign it is addition, minus subtraction. So these are used for performing mathematical calculations. As you can see, whenever there is a plus, it would be 5 plus 3, which is 8. This we have learned from childhood. Addition, subtraction, multiplication. Now, division, there were two parts to division. At times we work with quotient and at times we also need remainder, right? So whenever you want a quotient, you use slash. Whenever you want a remainder, you use modulus sign, okay? So what we are looking at, what is exactly that we need, depending on that you will select either slash or modulus, okay? Now floor division. What is floor division? Double slash stands for floor division. That means it rounds off to the nearest whole number. Exponential, we are aware of exponential, raised to, right, indices. 5 here I have given an example of 5 raised to 2, which means 5 5s are 25. So here it is exponentials. So all these symbols are basically operators used to perform certain mathematical operations. Clear? Next. So here I have taken an example to show you how things work. So in the Visual Studio, I have created this example. This is a variable x. We are assigning a value 10 with this x. Now, as I have told you how to visualize things, take a box, label it as x, 10 is put in that. Second box, y, label it y, put 3 in that. Okay. Now, here we have called the print function. We have seen print and input functions in the earlier videos. So I suppose you are comfortable with this by now. So this is formatting. I have used formatting so that I can use variables. Additionally, I can print these string values also. Okay, so here what it does, whatever is within the inverted commas and written like this, it will print as is, and whatever is in the curly braces, it will actually calculate it and print the answer. If you see here, now for subtraction, see subtraction it has printed as is, and x was 10. 10 minus 3, it gave us 7. 10 multiplied by 3, it gave us 30. 10 slash 3, it gave us the quotient, correct? 3.3333, it's a recurring number. Next, x modulus y, it gave us 1. This is the remainder. I told you, whenever you want division, you want the quotient, you use slash. Whenever you want remainder, you will give modulus. Exponential, 10 raised to 3 is what? 10 into 10 into 10, which is 1000. Floor division. So if you see this 3.33333, what it has done, it has rounded off this to 3. Okay, so rounding off to the nearest whole number. So we are clear with arithmetic operations. So we move on to, okay, here we'll take a real life case scenario where we will use these arithmetic operations. So for example, whenever you go to the mall, you always see your mother billing all the, she goes to the counter and the person, he scans the values of the items, right? So all these items are scanned and stored in variables, or you can say they are directly added also, depending upon how the programmer is writing the code. For us right now, we'll just put them in the variables, and all those variables are added. See here, this is the subtotal which is assigned is equal to item 1 plus item 2 plus item 3. These are the cost of all the items. Now, before giving the bill, what he calculates? Tax value, because for all that you have purchased, you have to pay the tax. Tax is 18%, GST you have to pay. So GST is whatever is the subtotal into 0.80. Okay. So final amount is what? You have to pay the cost of the items. Additionally, you also have to pay the cost. So both the values you will be adding both the values and the final amount. So now all this will be done inside the computer, but what will be shown to you on the screen? This is what is shown. Print subtotal. This is your total amount. This is the GST. This is subtotal amount of all the items that you have purchased. This is the GST we have applied, and final amount. This is your final amount. Then what do? This is what comes out of the printer, and they give you the bill. You just GPay it, and that's it. You get the value, get everything in the cart, and you bring it home. Okay, so this is how bill calculator works. Fine. So where are these things used? They are used in billing software, e-commerce, supermarket system, everywhere, right? You have seen all these things. Fine. So this is a real life scenario for our arithmetic operations. Okay, moving ahead. Assignment operators. Assignment means what? It is used to assign values to variables. We have seen a variable is a box, and we are putting values in that. So assignment is what? The actual action we are putting that, correct? So now single equal to sign. Please be sure that why am I taking this is single equal to, because there is one more operator where we use double equal to. So be very clear where to use what. So this single equal to is used for assignment. As soon as you use single value, single equal to, you have whatever is the variable, that is the box, and in that you are putting this value. It can be 10, it can be name. We have seen that, right? So this is assignment. Now with assignment, there are multiple operators. You can see plus equal to, minus equal to, multiplication equal to, all the arithmetic operations you just saw, along with equal to. Okay, suffixed equal to. What does this mean? So this means you can say it's a shortcut for saying x is equal to x plus 5. So whatever is the x value, add this much to that and again assign it. For minus equals to means whatever is the value in x, previous value, minus 5, and assign the new value into the box. Okay, so I'll take an example so that this is clear to you. So here, if you see for example, I've just used a simple plus here. Earlier, this is a variable score, a box labeled score, put 50 in that. Now we have 15 in the score box. But here it is saying score plus equals to 10, which means score is equal to score plus 10. So whatever is the previous value in our box, 50 is there already. So add 10 to that, how much it becomes? 60. Now put that 60 into the score box. Okay, so this is what the actual value in your box called score. Clear? So this variable score has the value 60. Clear about this? How this works? Assignment operator. Okay. So we saw how incrementally it worked. Now here I have used a real life scenario in which we have a game score tracker. Okay, so initially as the person starts playing, his score is 0, but as soon as he goes to a next level, we give him 10 score addition to it. Okay, so here what are we doing? We are increasing the score plus equals to 10. So assuming that he has finished the level 1, the score would be, here what it is, score is equal to 0 plus 10, which is 10. The box has 10. Now score is equal to score plus 20. Now our score box has 10, correct? So 10 plus 20, which is 30. So here if you see at level, after level 2, it became 30. Now he did some mistake, so we have to give him a penalty score and we have to subtract 5 from his score box. So earlier it was 30, we'll subtract 5 and put whatever the value is. Now 30 minus 5 would be 25, so 25 goes into the variable box, score box 25. So here penalty applied, it's printed 25. Got it? Understood how this works? Good. Now next we move on to comparison operators. Now comparison is what? It's used to compare values. So whenever you compare values, either it is true or false, correct? Compare. Now see, just now I told you a single equal to and a double equal to have different meaning to it in Python, right? So here single equal to was assignment, double equal to is comparison. So whenever you use this 5 is equal to 5, it will check is the left hand side and right hand side same, equal. If yes, it will give true. If not, it will give false. Okay. Not equal to, it will check if left and right are equal or not equal. So for not equal to, since this is true, it will give true. Greater than, is 5 greater than 3? Yes, true. Is 3 less than 5? True. If it would have been here 5 less than 3, it would have given false. Okay. Greater than or equal to, here it checks two conditions. Greater than, or is it greater than or is it equal to? Okay. So two conditions here checked at the same time. Similarly here, less than or equal to. So where are these used? Now this is first I have checked for operators what exactly you get. Okay, so for comparison my variable value was age is 18, given condition is greater than equal to. So here age value, is it greater than or equal to 18? Yes, it is equal to 18, right? So since it is a or, either of one, at least one of the two should be true. Okay, so age is greater than 18? No, it is not greater than 18, but it is equal to 18. Hence, this is true. Now, second one is age equals to 18. So, is the age equal to 18? Whatever value is in age box, is it 18? Yes, age is 18 and right hand side is also 18. So, yes, this is true. Now, age is less than or equal to 18. Again here, less than. No, age is not less than 18, but age is equal to 18. So, it will come true. Age is greater than 18? No, it is false. Age is less than 18? No, it is false again. Age is not equal to 18? Age is 18 that we have seen. So, here it is giving false. Okay. So this is how it works. So it is actually checking is the left hand side equal to right hand side. So you are clear. Here age was 18. That means left hand side wherever age is, there it will put 18 and check. 18 greater than equal to 18? Yes. 18 equals to 18? Yes. 18 is less than or equal to 18? Yes. Okay. So you understood how this works. So next we will see real case scenario where these are used. So where we are taking an input. Now this is an online voting eligibility checker. So we need to enter the age and we need to check if we can vote or we cannot vote. If we can, the condition is if you are 18 years old or above, then only you can vote. Okay, so maybe for creating creating the voter ID card or all those systems, bigger system, this is the initial check we need to see. Fine. So here, wait, let me go to the earlier one. Yeah. So here, as you can see, I will input the age. The user will input the age. Age here entered first is 25. So it will come here. Now see here I have done casting also, because we already saw for input whatever it takes, it is a string value. So basically age is a number. It has to be numerical. Hence I have taken int, not even float or complex. Okay. So whenever we are writing, we should always go back to the data types and all those things. So it should be subconsciously, now it should start working. Okay. So we need to check here and cast it into integer value. Now for integer value, it will check now the condition. So what did I tell you? The requirement of this application was that whatever the input value, we have to check if that value was greater than or equal to 18. If it is greater than or equal to 18, then print that you can vote, else print you cannot vote. So this is self-explanatory. You understood this if-else condition. We will be taking the loops and all those things later on, but right now just understand this here, that I have checked if the age is greater than or equal to 18, that it will print that you can vote. If not, else this will be print you cannot vote. Okay. Now indentations, I have also told you in the earlier previous videos that how Python recognizes this is part of this code block with if. This belongs to if. So if this condition is satisfied, if this is true, then it will execute this print statement, else it will go to this, it won't go here. Okay, if this is false, it won't execute here. And how does it understand? Because of this indentation part. Okay. So guys, since this video on operators was becoming very lengthy, so I have divided it into two parts. Now with this, I will close the part 1 of operators, where we have covered few of the operator types. Now in the next video, I'll continue with the other operators that are left. Okay. So as of now, for this video, we'll close on to this till this part. So thankful, grateful, blessed. Have a great day ahead. Alvida, Nirop, Anyong and Sayonara. Khuda Hafiz. Stay curious, keep learning, and I'll see you in my next continued video. Bye for now.